The start of this match was completely chalk though, so I think that we're just going to start from 0-0. What do you guys think? I think we just start from 0-0. Oh, it's me. I beat both of them. Yeah, just 0-0. Because AyyJayy just gave him a goal. And then aZapatos is like, I'm lagging. So I feel like that game was just fully chalked. So many people are shocked I'm a KBM player. Yeah, we're kind of a dying breed. Because it is probably suboptimal for Rocket League to be a KBM player. Okay, AyyJayy's giving him a goal anyway because he feels bad. I respect it. I respect that. I play KBM. Yeah. Use your admin powers. Didn't. What time was it? I don't remember what the time was. Somebody remember? It was something like 4:30, right? 3:50? Was it really 3:50? No, but there was like... just go like this. Just go like this. I don't remember the time. It's fine. This is fine. It's honestly fine. Like, that game one was fully chalked. AyyJayy didn't need to give those goals back, in my opinion. I mean, he literally gave a goal in the first game for no reason. And then aZapatos was like, what is happening? And scored again. Like, it was just fully chalked. Anyway. It looks like we're up and running. aZapatos has fixed his connection. AyyJay's given him a couple of goals here because they did play for about 30 seconds or so in the previous attempt at making this game happen, and when they were playing, aZapatos was gifted a goal by AyyJayy. Just actually, I'm not saying gifted a goal as in AyyJayy just misplayed. I mean literally gifted a goal for no reason. AyyJay's like, just score. He just said go, and aZapatos dribbled it in, so... I guess he really wants aZapatos to start with a 1 or 2 goal advantage, because he's given it again. aZapatos isn't the kind of player who needs that advantage. He's going to be competitive with anyone. Well, you know, he's going to have a chance to beat anyone he plays with. He's at that level where he can upset the best players in the world, I think. He's definitely not a favourite against AyyJayy, but upset potential, definitely. AyyJayy fighting really well there in the bump battle, and aZapatos's actually been bumped into a recovery here. That's pretty interesting. But you know, now that I've played AyyJayy myself, I know he was playing KBM, but I can safely say that I've downloaded a lot about his gameplay from that. So I hope aZapatos has muted my stream, otherwise he's about to gain unbelievable knowledge about AyyJayy and how to beat him. But basically, you know, when I played AyyJayy, all I did was I sat in net and I waited for AyyJayy to hit the bar or the post, and then I would just drive the ball into his open net, because like right now, right here, he's probably going to miss. See? Told you. Missed. You don't need to worry about his shots. If my experience playing against him is anything to go by. Probably the opposite is true now that he's back in controller. You have to pre-jump this guy. You have to attack this guy early. If you sit in your goal line, you're going to concede. AyyJay's not the kind of guy you want to sit in your goal line against, unless your name is Lionblaze. Or maybe Ruas. That's probably where the list stops, I'd say. That's where the list stops of players who want to sit in net against AyyJayy. And aZapatos gaining a ton of popularity recently, mostly because of his creative setups for wave dashes. He's really like pushing the wave dash meta forward. Excellent snapshot there off the wall. Very surprising amount of power from AyyJay's POV. Yeah, look out for the little wave dash moves that aZapatos can pull off. Often chaining them together, often pulling them out of positions that opponents don't really expect him to have a wave dash in for that burst of speed. It doesn't stop there though. He's not just a wave dash one-trick pony. He's got a great flick on him, as we saw just moments ago. He's also, I think, got great pressure on the ball from the midfield. He doesn't give his opponent much space to play with. Now, the best way that I've seen players play against him, and the players I've seen succeed against aZapatos, are players who anticipate those early challenges, players who anticipate those aggressive moves to try and take the ball off you early. If players can see that coming and just move the ball before he gets there, then they're gonna thrive. So that's what AyyJay's got to look out for. He's got to try and spot the aZapatos challenges. Basically, if you see aZapatos turning towards you, you've got to just be flicking the ball already. He's one of those players. He's not going to turn a little bit and then fake challenge. He's just going to go completely back towards, you know, aZapatos has used all the boost that he did have left over there just to get back into the corner. He's going to be stranded for quite a while if AyyJayy wants to. There you go. This once again, aZapatos combining both the things that we said there is, you know, a lot of his game is about acceleration, just getting into position quickly. And a lot of his game is about just sticking to the ball, using his 50-50 mechanics that he practices so often with the wave dash recovery kickoff. Not just to dominate kickoffs, but actually just to dominate 50-50s all over the field. Almost nailed it there. If he was a tiny bit higher up on the ball there, he would have had a wave dash on the landing, and it would have been, I think, a goal pretty simply for him. This time, challenges in reverse, sets up the boost seal. AyyJayy thinking about going for a demo on the back wall. aZapatos could have caught AyyJayy as he landed there, but he wanted to play the ball instead. It might prove to be an effective strategy as AyyJayy stuck in net with 5 boosts. aZapatos slams it in the top corner, and we have a 6-6 score. So we've also got one other match happening for the for Feer's tournament right now. I'm casting this one, but there is another match happening as well. Trying to remember what it is. It's First Killer versus Chronic, if I'm not mistaken. I think First Killer and Chronic are playing against each other. That's a super interesting match. I don't think First Killer's played Chronic since they played on my stream in a show match. Oh no, wait, that wasn't First Killer that played Chronic. It was Daniel that played Chronic, I believe. No, First Killer's not played. Has he played Chronic in years? Oh no, they played in like a tournament the Feer ran like a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, and First Killer won it, I think. Yeah, Feer's last tournament final. That's where I remembered it, yeah. Love that move from aZapatos. Pay close attention to this. This is a move that you should all be practicing. Trying to get up close to the side wall and practice your side flips, your side flip flicks into the wall. Now the reason that is very, very good, a very good thing to practice, is because there's almost no better 1v2 flick move in the game. If you're trying to flick the ball, then get back to it quickly to then outplay another player, or even, you know, to outplay multiple players, that is the way you want to do it. And so, oh my goodness, great control. AyyJayy getting an extra touch at the end of this one. Makes it really quite unsavable. Yeah, can anyone in chat, I'll throw this one to you guys. Why is the side flip flick so powerful when you're next to the wall like that? Can anybody summarize why? It's a very simple reason. Why is it so powerful when you flick the ball like that into the side wall, in the context of outplaying another player afterwards? Yeah, recovery, quick recovery. And the reason you recover faster, of course, is because you don't need to wait for your card to fall back down to the ground and finish the last 90 degrees of the flip. You land 270 degrees into the flip instead of 360. And simply recover more quickly than people would expect. And when people are defending as a unit, when you try and dribble 2 players, usually what they'll do is one of them will go, then when you flick the ball, the other guy will go, and he'll go to the ball before you can get back to it. But when you're in the side wall, you actually get back to the ball much faster than people anticipate, thanks to the faster recovery, and that way you can often surprise the second player who's coming in to challenge you by having ball control before he can get there. Very, very important move to learn if you want to be a good dribbler in 2s and 3s, where you're often going to need to get past 2 players. That's smart from aZapatos. He's parking in the way of AyyJayy here, trying to close out the game. Doesn't shut the door in the near post, kind of steered towards the middle of the net. AyyJayy saying what's happening here. aZapatos is getting very weird with it. After all said and done, he's got a great result for himself here. AyyJayy seems to be really struggling with the aZapatos half flip recovery kickoff. AyyJay's kind of just sending all of his momentum into the ball. He's got a bit of boost left over, but he's very, very straight to the ball, so he's not going to get a chance to get back and save much if aZapatos follows through. And I'm not sure if AyyJayy has delayed kickoffs in his repertoire. That's the most obvious and the most simple way to get aZapatos out of this rhythm that he's currently in. Yeah, we saw plenty fake kickoffs from AyyJayy in the past. We've seen plenty half flip kickoffs even recently from pretty much the whole scene. The whole one scene starting to utilize a half flip kickoff a lot more, which is really cool. But we've got a real series in our hands here. A lot of people expected AyyJayy to just win this one pretty handily. 3-0, 3-1. Could still be 3-1, of course, but let's see. Now, for those of you who are watching the VOD of this, or anyone who's watching this on video instead of the live stream, first of all, welcome to the video. Secondly, if you want to see other matches from this tournament, this is one of the quarter-final matches. It's the only quarter-final match that I've streamed. In fact, it's the only match from this tournament that I've streamed, because my other quarter-final match didn't happen. It ended up being a forfeit win for apparently Jack over Evo. But if you want to catch the rest of the tournament, you're going to want to head over to Feer's channel. That's where the rest of this tournament is happening. You'll see matches like Dynal versus Lionblaze, First Killer versus Chronic. The winner of this against, I think, the winner of First Killer versus Chronic. And the winner of Dynal Lionblaze versus apparently Jack. And so on. Definitely recommend that you check that out. If you like my content, you're going to love that content as well. TOM, thanks for 31 month, 34 month tier 1 actually. Welcome back to the channel. Also, Aquid Delay with the Prime and Arc with the brand new Prime. Sombra52, thanks for the 5 month tier 1 as well. Any spicy takes for the major? Ooh. Spicy take for the major. Well, one of the takes that I and everyone else in the Chalkcast, I think, agreed to last night was that we all think that James Cheese from APAC will take a game off someone. Probably in the 0-2 round. We think they're going to get a game and we really do think that they've got a chance of getting a series as well in this format, in Swiss. The 0-2 round could be the one for them. To take a series, I think that was a bit more of a, you know, okay, we could see it happening. We could see situations where that happens, but oh, what a recovery by AyyJayy. But I don't think anyone is willing to make a prediction on it. You don't think saying it, they'll take a game is spicy? I think that's a pretty spicy take. So most people think that they're going to get swept by Karmine Corp round 1, and then they're probably going to be facing a tough team in round 2 as well. But do I think they'll take a series? Could I say that? Let's think about it for a second. So in the last round, I think that the 4 teams in the 0-2 round will be yeah, James Cheese, Team Secret, lovely little wave dash there from aZapatos. Just deliberately landing unevenly so that his car bounces up at the front and he can wave dash for a speed boost. Yeah, I think James Cheese is going to be 0-2 round. I think Team Secret from South America is going to be 0-2 round. Also going to put probably both of the OCE teams in there in the 0-2 round. I mean, Swiss is really, it's not the format that just finds the worst 4 teams and chucks them in the 0-2 round, though. That's not what Swiss does. Swiss sometimes does throw a random team in the 0-2 round. You never know. You might get two teams who are 0-1 that you really don't expect to be against each other early on. But yeah, I think the 4 biggest underdogs of the event are the 2 OCE teams, Sam number 2 and APAC. So I think that Sam number 1, the club, and I also think the Falcons from MENA are looking very good right now, and I think every EU and NA team is looking extremely good right now, so that's probably my 0-2 rounds. And do I think James Cheese can win a series versus those teams? Honestly, I do. I don't know if I need to see my proper prediction bracket before I say that they will. I'm not going to say they will yet. But yeah, I'll make a predictions video soon. Major predictions video, probably closer to the major, once I've seen a little bit more about how teams are preparing. Meanwhile, look at this. This is a great series so far for aZapatos. AyyJayy should be scoring here. aZapatos has really made this difficult for AyyJayy to get comfortable. You should do a player ranking prediction stream. We're definitely going to do a player ranking stream. We have to do another one of them. That's a must. It looks like AyyJay's attempt at countering the aZapatos strat. You're joking. How has he saved that? aZapatos is going to try and keep the attack alive. No luck. That was an unbelievable save for the second time in the game by AyyJayy. Yeah, I don't like his attempted counter of the aZapatos wave dash recovery kickoff. Reason being, he's trying to fight fire with fire. He's using the same strat. He's thinking, okay, well, if I'm doing a standard kickoff and it's not working against what aZapatos is doing, then I need to just do what he's doing and beat him with it. So he's tried to do a bunch of wave dash recovery kickoffs himself. I think aZapatos is just a little bit better at it than AyyJayy. He's usually coming out with a stronger position when both players do that. I think it would be very easy for AyyJayy to just delay his kickoff and see what happens. Just you know, just get into midfield play at least comfortably. So again, aZapatos just right back on the ball, has AyyJayy in a slightly uncomfortable position. AyyJayy's dealt with this one pretty well afterwards. He's still scoring regularly enough to keep his confidence up. And you know, the other thing that I mentioned about aZapatos, he loves to challenge early, and that AyyJayy getting the ball moving quickly with flicks and shots from distance, that's going to be a big win condition for him. Well, he's done it there, and now he bumps aZapatos away from the play and scores his 7th goal of the game. You know, he's not getting favourable positions immediately after the kickoff, but he is playing very well off the positions he's being given. That was actually a aZapatos winning position there, but he kind of misplayed it, just steered into AyyJayy and ended up setting himself up to be bumped. There we go, AyyJayy does get straight up advantage for the first time in a while. And he's going to go for the bot Fennec air dribble. No air roll necessary. It works out really well. Do you think this is the way AyyJay's going to beat aZapatos? Is he just going to bot Fennec him? aZapatos with the finishing touch there. I'd love to see it. AyyJayy bot Fennecing. I mean, after the success Daniel had with that strategy, it's got to have people thinking. It really has to. aZapatos didn't have the right position here. He's going to lose the boost at midfield as well. Dandroid and aDroid. Wait, is that another sick team play? What is going on? Why does aZapatos keep on finishing off AyyJay's shots so well? Look at this. Bang! Oh, he didn't actually get a touch. It looked like he got a touch on my the first view. I can't tell if he got a touch on the replay there. But I definitely saw one on the first run through. Oh, nicely done, AyyJayy. We'll go 10 for it up with the mind game. He's just too good in game 2. He really had a ton of momentum to make that mind game as convincing as possible. Threw himself into the position, only to then not actually continue driving into the ball. AyyJay's probably quite confused about how everything seems to be going so well for him here. Suddenly aZapatos has fallen to pieces in game 2, and this one has gotten pretty ugly. aZapatos games always have so many goals. It is amazing to witness, because he makes life difficult for himself and his opponent. So somebody's scoring. Somebody's gonna score at some point. You probably like every 15 seconds in the game, we're just likely to get a goal. aZapatos really doing work with this move off the wall today. I'm sure you guys have noticed if you've been paying attention. But aZapatos has been jumping off the wall upside down and kind of flipping back up to the ball. It's sort of like a pre-flip into the ball off the wall. And AyyJay's fallen for it about 3 or 4 times. So it's really good strategy to be employing. I think aZapatos, if he really wanted to get a comeback in this game, should have just banked on AyyJayy missing that. He has got the goal anyway. If he is trying for a comeback here, he has to just assume that AyyJay's missing doubles like that. He has to assume that AyyJay's going to let him approach and challenge early. Just take every risk possible. Otherwise, you're just not going to get the comeback to work. AyyJay's completely put an end to it there with 1 more goal. That's all he needed to absolutely remove any chance of a comeback happening. Did somebody really just say Spanish is a language, not a race? You can't be Spanish? Did that comment really just happen? You can't be Spanish. That's an amazing comment from the chat today. Well done. Just get it all out of the way with. Get it all out of the way. We've had so much, just chalked personification from NA today. Just get it all out of your system. It's a good day to do it. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. So just get it all out of your system. You can't be Spanish. Amazing. Like, Spanish is just the language the Mexicans speak, bro. You can't be Spanish. You can only be Mexican. Was it an American? I mean, no, he didn't like have any like name to suggest. There was no like American in his name or anything. Everybody's just assuming that he's American because Americans are well known for having terrible geography skills, and it's not really their fault. I don't blame them. I mean, if you don't get taught geography in school, how are you supposed to know? Like, I'm pretty sure that when you go to geography class in America, they show you a world map and it's literally just America. They don't even have Canada on there. They've chopped it off. They've just got America. They're like, yep, this is the map of the world. You can't be Spanish. It's simply not a thing. So I don't even blame them. I mean, if you're not getting taught, then how are you supposed to know? Wait, AyyJayy scored 13 goals from 13 shots. That's amazing. He's a shooter. That kind of sums up aZapatos' defense at times, where he just sends it. He just goes. He's like, ah, well, I'm just gonna go. If you know, if the challenge works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm getting scored on. No problem. But yeah, a big part of beating him is knowing that he's gonna do that and just yeah, shooting early, flicking early, making quick plays when he is coming towards you, and when he's not, making the most of those opportunities. AyyJayy's just flexing on him with the chain dash. Listen, is anybody... There's no way people are actually getting salty. I'm just like trying to get the general vibe right now from like some comments I'm seeing fly by in the chat. Are people actually salty about this? That someone didn't know that you can be Spanish. It's fine. It's funny, if anything. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Oh, good save. Okay, ruining AyyJayy's shooting percentage. I see what aZapatos is up to here. Oh, it's a brilliant demo by AyyJayy. aZapatos did not see that one coming. AyyJayy's just going to take his time. He's going to invite aZapatos into the back corner. aZapatos, of course, challenges early because he can. Once again, he's very good at those, like, he just kind of pokes the ball on target sometimes. He just gives it a thorough prod and gets a ton of power on it. aZapatos, one of those players that it seems like he gets more power on the ball when he doesn't dodge. I don't know if it's just me that thinks that, because I am still relatively new to casting him. I've only casted a few show matches containing aZapatos, but I feel like he gets more power when he doesn't dodge. When he just flies into the ball, he gets a lot more power than when he dodges into the ball. Like here, that wasn't maximum power at all. He could have had more power than this. It's good enough, but like, it's a decent example of what I mean, where that wasn't max power, that also wasn't max power. He's kind of hit the ball on the bottom left there instead of the center. And I think it probably doesn't help that he's playing the Sensio, because it looks like quite an awkward card to just have perfect dodges on. It's one of the reasons I think why the Octane has stayed so popular for many years. Well, since the start of Rocket League, is it just doesn't seem to matter what part of the car you hit the ball with when you're dodging. Everything seems to be a boomer, no matter where you hit it. In the Fennec, Dominus, Batmobile, other popular cars, very easy to see where the corner is on the front of the car, so you can aim your shots. Sentio, rounded corners, not as simple in my opinion to know where you should be precisely hitting the ball. Better games, thanks to the Tier 1, welcome to the channel. We have got potentially 2 more games to go after this one. Currently in best of 5 between AyyJayy and aZapatos, and it is 1 apiece. AyyJayy on a great streak. There's that same idea again from aZapatos. Looks like it's going to work. AyyJayy kind of messes up the save. Didn't force aZapatos to get any more touches on this one. aZapatos has really figured that out, how to be consistent with that kind of touch, where he's pre-flipping into a touch off the wall. They always seem to generate a fair bit of power, and here's the other thing he's figured out to the absolute highest level. Oh, how about that for a save by AyyJayy, though? He's stuck the ball in the one place aZapatos can't really do anything with. If AyyJayy hits that ball more into the corner, aZapatos can just run into it and set up a boost steal. Oh, look at the mind game. aZapatos missed the shot, but he really fooled AyyJayy with that turn. Yeah, if AyyJayy hit it more in the middle, it's a goal. If he hit it more into the corner, aZapatos can just take the ball and steal the boost. But because AyyJay's kept it right next to the post like that, kind of killed the momentum of aZapatos' attack. Here we should see a tight game. aZapatos slots it confidently. What is AyyJayy going to do with his kickoff strats? Looks like he's going back to standard. He really hasn't had a good day at the office for the most part. I think it started going pretty well for him at the tail end of last game, but he was already up by a significant margin at that point. Yeah, it looks to me like he doesn't know how to counter the wave dash recovery kickoff. Here it is again, same move. He also has not figured out how to counter aZapatos off the wall plays like this. He's really nailed that. Once again, I've started a language country war in chat. It's fine. You don't like it, don't read it. I'm not reading it, I'm watching the game. Okay, I can catch up on it all later. We can have a big discussion. I'll trigger everybody before I go offline. Yeah, it's pretty much my philosophy with Twitch chat in general. It's why I never really get annoyed by Twitch chat. Unless, like, if I'm just talking to chat, then that's kind of the content, isn't it? Just getting triggered by chat and chat getting triggered by the streamer. That's the point. But I mean, when I'm casting or when I'm making other content Rocket League related, I just, you know, tend to glance at the chat every now and then. If I see an interesting comment, I read it out. If I don't, I look back at the game. It's like, okay, it's fine. Like, you don't have to respond to every message in chat. I feel like a lot of streamers have an issue with that, where they just feel that they have to reply to every comment that calls them out in any way, or any comment that they disagree with. They just have to reply to it. And I don't know why they waste their time. That's a massive flick from aZapatos. AyyJayy's going to get there. aZapatos decides to play for the catch and the flick to the other side of the goal. I didn't think he was going to play for this. I thought he was either going to chip this on target or just absolutely boom it first time. No, he catches it and then flicks it past AyyJayy to the left. Very, very precise move needed there. And it is a more risky play in a way, because if AyyJayy does save that, aZapatos is landing further forward. AyyJayy's got a natural counter-attacking angle set up, but that shows how confident aZapatos was that he could just place that ball beyond AyyJayy's reach. Great angle on the dribble from aZapatos, but once more he kind of dumps the ball into the ground. Not a lot of power on it. AyyJayy's going to get a great bounce to work with, but he's bumped aZapatos into a recovery here. aZapatos was about to be gone. He was about to be so far away from the play, but AyyJayy bumped him into a recovery. Of course, unintended. AyyJayy trying to bump him away here. Actually just plays the ball. I think he was initially jumping here, thinking about bumping aZapatos, but after realizing that aZapatos wasn't going to get there, he just played for the ball as well. Yeah, he's kind of got both options covered there. aZapatos is flying inside on. He could just lean forward into him. If he's flying more underneath to come in from the goal side, he could just hit it past him. AyyJayy never one to completely lock himself into one line of play with his aerial offense. He always has options, whether it's high, low, left, right. He's got that directional change on the fly. He really has dominated midfield. I think aZapatos, for the most part, come away with the majority of kickoff possessions, but AyyJayy's midfield play, his ability to survive a aZapatos attack and then immediately counter-attack and start to either score immediately or just build an undefendable attack in an exchange like this, where he's just making minor gains, waiting for aZapatos to miss position, and then scoring. I mean, this is a good summary of how the game's been going. aZapatos unable to get past AyyJayy at one end, and then AyyJayy immediately breaks free from defense and just doesn't allow aZapatos to do the same thing. He's had a much better time locking aZapatos in his goal than aZapatos has when he tries to do it to AyyJayy. It's pretty much one and done with aZapatos attacks. He just has one shot. It'll be a good one. If it doesn't work, that's the end of the attack. AyyJayy, much more consistent with the pressure, peppering the net with shots and threats. Now has double match point in a series where he still hasn't figured out a good way to counter aZapatos kickoff strats. At least in my opinion. Not doing too badly, but he's losing the majority. Let me just have a quick glance at what's going on elsewhere. Oh boy, well, Very close series on Feer's channel at this time. Both series pretty close at the moment. I feel like AyyJayy should be able to close this one out, though. He's figured out very early on in this series how to counter aZapatos. Aggressive defensive strategy. And AyyJayy's offense is just working extremely well. He said in the second game, post-game chat, to pay attention to his shooting percentage. Now, shooting percentage is a stat that doesn't really matter in Rocket League pretty much at all. There was a very interesting post made on the Rocket League esports subreddit a while ago, highlighting different stats and how they correlated with actually winning in 3v3. And shooting percentage was one of the stats that had the lowest correlation to actually winning in Rocket League. So yes, of course, it's good to try and hit the target when you're trying to. If you are going for a goal, of course, helps to actually hit the open net. No one's going to argue you on that front. But shooting percentage as a statistic is not the most accurate for pointing out which players are doing well, which teams are doing well. Not really something I would pay attention to. One of the best statistics for that. What stat had the highest correlation? Points per game, actually. Points per game had a higher correlation to actually winning than Octane rating did. I mean, Octane rating and points per game are not the best either. I don't think any of them are particularly good. Points per game is like the best that you've got, I think. But it's still very scuffed because you get points for like driving into your teammate after a goal gets scored in Rocket League. Another crazy statistic. I'm just going to keep saying it wrong now, so at least if I do it on purpose then I can't mess it up. Now, you know the reason what statistics is hard to say. I can't say statistics, so I keep saying statistics because I've seen so many people link what's a Big Shaq song called again? Man's Not Hot. And they always link the music video in any Rocket League Twitch streams. Then the streamer watches it, and the intro in that he says statistics instead of statistics. So I can't get it out of my head. Whenever I think of the word, I just think I think wrong. I think about the wrong pronunciation. It's really annoying. But yeah, EPM is the most visibly accurate statistic, I would say. The most visibly accurate one. Nice flick by aZapatos. I think he put in a lot of side on that one with the setup of his car. Has to lean a lot more forward into it than Octane players and Fennec players, it would seem. Yeah, I like EPM for your stats, because EPM, when you look at EPM, it just seems to be a more accurate correlation to what players and teams in fact played well than points per game does. Points per game and Octane rating, sometimes a team will bum out, like losing every series they play, and then you'll just spot one of their players like second on Octane rating or like second on points per game, and you're like, what? I watched that series, he did nothing. EPM is effective plus minus. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he posts it on the subreddit after every EU and NA event. And it means effective plus minus, so compared to the average performer in any event, it rates players' defense and offense compared to the average. So if you're completely average, you're going to get a 0. If you're above average, you're going to be positive number. Then below average would be a negative number, and then it adds up your two numbers for your defense and offense, and that's how you get the rankings. Yeah, EPM does take placement into account, which I think is smart. But I think advanced stats are something that Rocket League could really explore a lot more. Some advanced stats I've talked about for a long time that I'd love to see be implemented in the game. Well, this isn't even advanced, but I'd love to see demos in the scoreboard. That would be a great thing to just have, right? Goals, assists, saves, shots, demos. Like, why is it not there? That seems like the easiest implementation. The only thing that I think might scare Psyonix away from doing that is that the outcry from all of the people online who cry that demos are like bad-mannered would be too great. Love that shot from aZapatos. Man, he really is very good at pre-flips off the wall, isn't he? And this time, he just missed it. Top corner was a hair away, and then AyyJayy fakes him out. I think aZapatos kind of faked himself as well. A little bit of both. Yeah, I like, for advanced stats, I would love to see, especially for 3v3, not so much 1v1, a stat that would track how many times a player actually hit the ball when they went for it. And, you know, that would have to be a very, very advanced tracking to get that, because you'd need to have somebody watching and see, like, okay, did the player really go for the ball here, or was that a mind game? Okay, because if it's a mind game and they didn't get it, then obviously you don't want to take 1 point off them there. But I think Rocket League 3s, you'd see a very high correlation to teams and players who actually hit the ball when they go for it and winning. Because a lot of teams that are losing and getting beaten, a lot of players who are not playing very well, go for the ball and don't actually get it because they get beaten to the ball, or because their boost management didn't allow them to get there, or the mechanical ability didn't allow them to get there as quickly as they thought. So I think you'd see a very high correlation. It'd be interesting to track, like, who's actually hitting the ball when they get it. Oh, that's really well played. aZapatos with the reverse challenge. AyyJayy drops 2 OKs in the chat. Probably indicating that he just really didn't see that coming. Yeah, he had no idea. He lost track of where aZapatos was. Probably thought that aZapatos was leaving the area. Nah, aZapatos just reverses straight back in. He just goes right back for the ball. And now he fakes the kickoff. That's smart when you're up by 2. Guarantees that you should have a longer time period pass by before somebody scores, but it doesn't end up being that long this time. AyyJayy scores. Very tight angle shot from the corner. Fantastic read as well by AyyJayy to know that aZapatos wasn't going to beat him to this one. And there you go, like I said, you know, when both players went for the ball there, AyyJayy got it, aZapatos didn't. So that would be a point on AyyJayy's name, where he actually hit the ball when he went for it. You know, aZapatos would have got one there, because he hit the ball after, or yeah, he went for the ball and he got it. And the other advanced stat that I'd love to see tracked would be, like, how many times does a touch from a player get followed up by a touch from one of their teammates. AyyJayy's tied this. The late air dribble completely fools aZapatos. aZapatos just not going for the ball in enough of these defensive plays yet. But, you know, I said earlier, he kind of faked himself out, but it's happening fairly regularly. Oh, has he left the net open? He has. AyyJay's going to score it. aZapatos has kind of thrown this one away. I said he was in a great position. 8-6, or sorry, 7-5. Kickoff was in his favor, but he just played a bit too carelessly. I think it's a little bit lackadaisical in the back corner, allowing AyyJayy to score an absolute banger from a tight angle. But after that, we've seen aZapatos sort of fake himself out. He's in a lot of trouble here. He tried to let the ball bounce a little bit more, and yeah, you could forgive him for that one with 76 ping. I'm sure that ball exploded just a touch before it would have on his screen. Like, on his screen, that's probably not yet crossing the line. You've got to remember that he is a West Coast player, so he probably thought he had another 200ths of a second or something like that. Maybe 2/10ths of a second is what I mean to say. 200ths really would not make much of a difference. But GG's AyyJayy, 3 games in a row. aZapatos, I think a lot to work on when it comes to defense. Offensively, his flick game's looking good. His off-the-wall plays, very, very deceptive. His use of wave dashes and acceleration to catch his opponents off guard, all looking very good. I like that. You know, that's all looking solid. The kickoff's looking solid. The one aspect of the game that I think he needs to work on, well, I'm gonna say 2. One of them, he has to be a little bit better at surviving. Look at how many times in the series AyyJayy just survived on low boost or on low momentum, just making clutch saves, making aZapatos work for goals. I don't think aZapatos makes his opponents work hard enough for some goals. He kind of just sees an opportunity to go for the ball and he just goes for it. He's thinking, hey, I could go for that, so I will. And if that's his default in every single matchup, the top tier players are going to keep countering him, because they're just going to wait for him to make the move and hit the ball past him, because they know he's actually going, and they're not in fact conceding the ball to a fake challenge. So yeah, more fake challenges, little bit more patience and composure on the goal line to, I think, bolster his defense, and he'll be good to go.